What's your name?
My name's Megan. What's your name?
My name is Mohammed.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So, where are you from?
I am from Iraq. How about you?
I'm from England.
That's sweet. Where in England?
I live in Cornwall, which is in the southwest of England.
Okay. And what's your hobbies? What are your hobbies?
I really like learning languages as well. So, I speak French and Spanish, and I'm currently learning Portuguese. So, that's probably one of my main hobbies. And aside from that, like everybody, I like watching Netflix. So I watch a lot of TV shows and films, especially in other languages. And then spending time with my friends, of course, that's one of the main things. What about you? What do you like doing?
Well, I like playing basketball. I like playing video games, online battle royale video games, and I like working. I think that my job is like a hobby because you know that saying, if you like what you do, you will never work. So I really like my job. So that's why working is like a hobby for me because I enjoy doing it.
You've won then. That's really good. I think a lot of people really want to find a job that they love, and not everyone has that situation. But what job do you do? Tell me about that.
Well, to be honest, and that's going to be strange for you, I am an English teacher.
Oh, cool. Okay.
You've said that you like learning new languages, right?
Yeah.
So have you ever considered learning Arabic, or what is your opinion about the Arabic language? And I want you to just tell me what's in your mind. So,
I have thought about learning it before because obviously nowadays it's one of the languages which is it's so widely spoken, and I think it would be quite useful. But because when I was younger I learned languages like French and then Spanish, I find it easier to learn languages related to the ones that I already know.
yes,
So after I started studying Spanish, I went to Portuguese because it's so similar and it's quite easy to make that jump. But I think obviously with Arabic, the alphabet or the way it's written is
yes.
different, so it's like an extra thing to learn. So I'm quite lazy in that respect.
Tell me more about you. What have you completed like a college degree in English?
So I went to university and I studied languages. So I studied French and Spanish. And in terms of like English, I've got a TEFL. I did that online, and I've worked in schools. So I taught English in France. I taught English in Spain, and I've been teaching online for almost 2 years now. But it's nice. It's you get to speak to lots of different people. And
Yeah, I
you, who
mean,
do you teach online? Do you teach in person?
no, I don't teach online because it is not that useful, you know. If you are forced to teach online, it's okay. I mean, it's better than not to teach at all, you know, but I am able to teach like in person. So teaching online takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, time management and stuff. And the result, especially language learning, the result is not really efficient like in person. So that's why I avoid teaching online courses because they take a lot of time and they are uh, not really rewarding. There's a lot of competition. So you are in the field and you know how it feels.
Yeah, I think um, I teach adults mostly, and I find that's quite good because it sort of fits in with their schedules, and they can, have access to native speakers like that. It's quite useful for them. I don't teach children. I find that a bit too difficult. But what about you? Do you teach a mixture? Do you just teach kids or adults?
Well, I avoid teaching kids because my patience is very thin.
Mine too.
Yes, yes, it's hard for me to deal with children, so I prefer teaching teenagers and adults, mostly college students. But I really hate it when I give someone an assignment and they just don't do it. I come on, you are wasting my time and your time, and you came here spending money, so you need to at least do your part. There's some things, for example, I have a student a couple of weeks ago. He spent like more than 5 lectures with me, and he doesn't even know how to use basic auxiliary verbs like is, are. He says, I is, she are. I was like, please, it's easy, just memorize it. And other students just, question words. He cannot recognize between why and what. Because in Arabic, they are ماذا ولماذا. So it's, they are similar. But some students who are really young, like 10 years, they memorize everything, they study hard. And a lot of students don't know that learning language from scratch requires a lot of bit of work, requires some, using your memory to memorize stuff. Some things you can learn through practical training, but other things you need to study, just like physics, just like biology,
And do you find that, because I obviously do the same job as you, I find the same situation where you have students who don't do any work in their own time. And do you find that some of them kind of think of you as a miracle worker and expect you to teach them everything in that 1 hour a week, and for that to be the only thing that kind of helps them?
This is a very good question. My students come to me like 3 hours a week, and I am planning a VIP business course, which is like 1 hour and a half every day. So 1 hour and a half every day is, I guess that's enough for businessmen, for businesswomen to just, they don't have time. So they just come to me and they start practicing. But for kids, 3 hours a week, that's not enough. So they need to study at home. So it's really disappointing. But the thing is, I start from scratch. I teach my students from the alphabet. So they have no fear. Muhammad is here, So
that's a good like tagline.
Yes, just like Zoro. So most of my students feel very safe, because lots of students, especially in high school, teachers expect them to know stuff, but little do they know, or did they know, most of our high school students doesn't even know how to spell or how to read, which is a big problem. High school students, even high school graduates, they don't know how to read. So when they come to me, I teach them the alphabet, how to spell, how to read. So they do their part and everything goes well. And when I encounter a student that doesn't study or doesn't want to help himself, I tell him, like, I'm not ready to waste my time and your money. So find another teacher. That's it. So tell me, what is the worst subject you studied? A subject that you really hate, you cannot understand or comprehend.
Like when I was at school, for example?
Yes.
I would say science. I'm really terrible with science. But it's one of those things that when I was at school, I knew what I had to do to pass. So I got my best grades in science because I just learnt the textbook off by heart. So if they asked me a question, I could write the answer to it. I just didn't understand what it meant. So I got really good grades in science, but I didn't understand a thing. So that was what I did. I just found it really difficult.
For me, when I was in high school, I didn't understand nor memorize anything. So I was pretty bad at school. I really hated chemistry, physics, math. To be honest, I hated most of the subject. I wasn't really good at school because I was busy with my basketball team. I used to play basketball like all the time. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have 2 brothers. One of them's younger than me.
So you are in the middle.
Yeah, I'm the middle child.
The neglected child.
Let's not say neglected. The black sheep.
Yes, but you're not black at all.
No.
How about your dad? What was his job?
He worked in a bank.
He worked in a bank, like a clerk.
Yeah.
That's pretty English.
Do you think?
Yes, I mean, because I always read short stories and the main character's father always a clerk,
Yeah, okay.
Okay, how about you tell me about your dream job?
My dream job. Oof, that's difficult. I think it would be something creative, something to do with writing, probably, because I like to write. But yeah, I don't know. It's difficult sometimes to know exactly what you want to do. I always change my mind on what I want to do. But what about you?
So
You really like your job. Would you say you're in your dream job, or is there something you'd rather do than teach English?
you are putting me in a tough position, but
Okay.
uh, I like computers. I've always wished to be a programmer or like hardware engineer, software engineer. Do you know how to cook?
Do I know how to cook? I'm so bad at cooking. It's really bad.
No.
Yeah. What about you? Can you cook?
Yes, I can cook some basic meals, I guess. I can cook
Hmm.
some. I can survive.
Yeah, I mean, same. I can survive. I can cook basic things, but some people who are just naturally like gifted and they can whip something together really quickly. I'm not one of those people. I need to follow a recipe like to the T. I can't improvise. Can you? Can you kind of just like get a bunch of ingredients together and make something, or do you have to follow a recipe?
To be honest, I really have a bad experience with recipes because none of them succeeded. For you, you should know how to cook because one day you might want to get married.
But also, whoever I get married to, they can cook for me.
Yes, he would be a poor husband.
I don't
Poor
know.
him.
I think it should be both people. Like we can cook together, maybe like me and the other person,
Yes, my wife
or they
always
can
says
cook
that.
and I can do the washing up.